Good morning, children. Welcome to the class. Last class, we just finished with what are the different types of economic activities. We learnt about what is employment, what is profession, and what is business. I just started what are the classifications of business activities based on size. See, business activities can be classified on the basis of size. On the basis of ownership, it could be classified. On the basis of function, it could be classified into different types. And I just started with what are the classification of business activities based on size. Based on size, business activities could be classified as small scale business and large scale business. Small scale business requires very less amount of capital, less number of workers will only be employed, and the quantity of production also will be less. Example what I gave was at manufacturing, a textile unit which manufactures handlooms using power looms, or it can be handlooms also. Next is large scale business. Large scale business means a business activity which requires huge amount of capital, where it employs a large number of workers and the volume of output produced is also on the larger side. Example can be a big textile mill where it manufactures garments. Likewise, an oil mill where it employs more number of people, where it has a branded name, and where it enjoys a big share in the market. So, a volume of production is high, and for example, Saffola, sunflower oil, all those could be taken as a large scale production. Next is activities on the basis of ownership. How can business activities be classified based on ownership? Based on ownership, we could classify the business activities broadly as private enterprise and public enterprise. Under private enterprise, if the ownership and the management is done by individuals or persons other than government. The government does not interfere here. The ownership doesn't belong to the government. The ownership, management and the control, everything lies in the hands of individuals or persons. Then such an enterprise or business activity, you call it as private enterprise. Under the private enterprise, we have again two categories. One is sole proprietorship. See, for example, if you are an individual doing business, business means with the motto of earning profit. You are running a stationery shop, or you are running a departmental store where you are the only owner. Such an enterprise, you call it as sole proprietorship concern. Next is the next type under private enterprises, partnership firms. See, for example, there are 2-3 people who have joined together by investing capital, and they are working together for the development of their business, and they are sharing the profit accordingly. If such an enterprise is there or business activity is established with 2 or more partners, such a business activity, private enterprise, you call it as partnership firm. Example, Ramesh Brothers, where the brothers are the partners in the business. Next type of business activity based on ownership is public enterprise. Previously, I said private enterprise means the government doesn't own the business activity. Public enterprise means here the government owns, manages and controls the business activities. Either the government can own fully, or the agencies of the government can own the business enterprise, or both of them together can own the business enterprise. If such an enterprise is owned by the government partially or in association with its agencies, it is called as public enterprise. We will be learning in depth about all these topics in the forthcoming chapters. Okay, this is an introduction of what is a public enterprise. Under the public enterprise, we have departmental undertaking. Departmental undertaking, example, Power and Works Department. The government supplies us electricity, it supplies water. That is a departmental form of organization where it is solely owned by the government. Next is public corporation. Example, Oil and Natural Gas Corporation. Again, it is partly owned by the public and partly the shareholders are there who own the company. Next is the third type is government company. Example, State Trading Corporation. Government company means the central government and state government together they own a company. Okay, such a type of company, you call it as garment company. Next is third category under basis of partnership is joint enterprise. An enterprise is said to be joint enterprise where it is owned, managed and controlled by government and private enterprises. Okay, see for example, the private enterprises are also a part of the organization, and the government also contributes to the management and also owns and controls. So for example, Maruti Suzuki. Suzuki, it is a foreign concern. Okay, whereas Maruti, it is a government, the ownership is made by the government. So here, the government participation is also there, and the private enterprise entrepreneurs participation is also there. Such an enterprise, you call it as joint enterprise. Next is activities based on function. What type of work they do, what type of business activity is being done. Based on that, we can categorize business activities as industry and commerce. For example, if the business activity involves the process of production or raising of any particular commodity or processing of the consumer goods or converting of the goods which is in one form into another form, okay, such type of processing of consumer goods, you call such business activities as industry. Example here given is bread, butter, cheese, shoes, capital goods like machines, all those wherever the process of conversion of goods in one form into another form is there, such processing industry you call it as, such processing business activities you call it as industry. Next is commerce. Commerce means any business activity which establishes a link between the producer and the consumer of the goods. That is, goods are produced by the businessmen where the process you call it as industry. These produced goods which are produced using the industries have to reach the hands of the consumer. From the producer's hand, it has to reach the hands of the consumer. So, a business activity which ensures the smooth flow of goods from the hands of the producer to the hands of the consumer. Such business activities are called as commerce. Okay. Now, let us understand what are the characteristics of business. Very, very simple. Business, I told you these are the different types of or classification of business. Everything specifies the business as such, it has certain characteristics. What are they? First is production or procurement of goods. See, business means it should either produce the goods and services, or it should procure the goods and services from the producer and give it to the hands of the consumers, or it can produce from the producers and give it to the wholesalers. So it is either production or procurement of goods. What are those goods? Whichever satisfies the human wants. Okay, to satisfy the human wants, business means it must produce or procure the goods and service. Next is sale, transfer or exchange. See, for example, if a person if a lady is stitching dress material for herself, okay, you cannot call that as a business. On the other hand, the same lady does the stitching and gives to other people, which she takes it on a regular basis. She does that particular job. Okay, you call that as a business because there money is a motive behind that. She doesn't do it for herself. So exchange of service is there. So there must be a sale or exchange of goods or service. A person who weaves a cloth for his personal consumption, it is not business. There is no transfer or sale. But the same person, if he does it on a large volume and then sells it to other people, there is transfer of goods and services. So that is only business. Dealing in goods and services. Whenever we say goods business, they should deal with goods or services. Goods means anything which is tangible, which you can see, feel. Services, anything which is felt only. Service, supply of water, supply of electricity, supply of telecommunications, okay, teaching profession, okay, so that is a lawyer profession. All those comes under services rather. So, business means it deals with what? It deals with commodities or services also. Next is regularity in business dealings. Regularity in dealings means, see for example, you are buying a scooter, you are using the scooter for a year or two and you don't like it and you wanted to dispose it off, and you are selling to some other person and you are getting back money for in exchange of the scooter. This you cannot call it as a business. On the other hand, okay, if you are on a regular basis, you are buying two-wheelers and selling it for a profit. If you are going to do it on a regular basis, then you call this as business. So, business means it constitutes what? Dealing of buying and selling on a regular basis. Okay, this you call it as regularity of dealings. And fifth point is, what is the underlying motive of business? Is it to do some service or charity? Definitely no. Any business activity which is intended with the intention of earning profit for their livelihood, such activity you call it as business. Business activities are more so what? They aim at making profit for their well-being. So this you call it as one of the characteristics of business, because profit is one of the attractive motive behind the people to do or to grow high in the business. Spur means growing high. Element of risk. Whenever we say business, business is always full of uncertainties. Uncertainties means what? Something which you do not expect happens. Now then, it is a clear city. All of us might have understood. Many of your parents are into business or profession. Totally, whatever is happening is totally unexpected. Is it? Huge amount of loss. Many people have incurred huge amount of loss. Did we expect this? Definitely no. So, business means it is full of uncertainties and unexpected happenings. So this is also one of the feature of business. And when I say unexpected or uncertainty, it can be in the form of change in consumers' preference, or it can be a sudden shortage in the raw materials, or it can be because of the bottlenecks in the businesses, okay, in the transportation, or because of the power crisis. For each citation of this, we have faced so much of business crisis in the past. So, business activity includes the element of what? Risk also. So, a person is taking risk because he gets profit. So, profit is a driving motive or the reward which an entrepreneur is getting for the risk that he is facing. Okay, so the 6 points, that is, these are the characteristics of business. What are they? Shall we have a small recap? First point is there should be production or procurement of goods. The goods should be sold. So transfer or exchange is there. It deals with goods and services, and there should be a regularity in dealings. Okay, it should not be a one-time work. One-time work means it is not called as business, and profit should be the underlying motive of business, and there is an element of risk which is associated with the business. So these are the characteristics of business. Now, let us have a comparative learning or understanding about business, profession and employment. Okay, we have 9 points. Out of these 9 points, we expect you to learn minimum 5 differences. Okay, now let us understand what is business. Business means it is a promoter's decision. Okay, decision or registration and the other formalities he should do as per the law, whatever it has prescribed. Whatever the law has prescribed, they have to follow the formalities. That is registration of the business, getting the GST number. All those are the formalities which the law wants us to do. But whereas in profession, you have a certified body. That body should certify that you are a registered professional. See, for example, anyone who has learnt medicine or who knows about treatment, he cannot start a profession as a doctor. A doctor has to be certified by a registered body acknowledging him as a registered medical practitioner. You might have seen in the doctors, boards and all. The name of the doctor will be there, followed by whatever the degree that he has done, and below that it will be written RETD, registered, REGD, registered, and a number also will be there, which will be an alphanumeric number, which means that he is properly registered medical practitioner. Next is employment. Employment means what? It is just a contract. Okay, it is a letter of appointment stating that you are working under an employer for a specified period of time for the specified remuneration. Next point of difference is nature of work. Whenever we say business, it deals with goods and services. To whom? To the general public. Okay, next is profession. Professionalized service of expert nature. Whenever we say profession, it is something more than employment. Okay, it requires a professionalized or specialized skill. That is the main expertized skill which is needed to do the job. That you call it as profession. Next is employment. Employment means the worker or the employee performs the job given by the employer. That's all. The third point of difference, qualification. Do you need any special qualification to do a business? To start a petty shop, should I have to complete any degree course? Definitely no. So no minimum qualification is necessary to start a business. But for profession, you have to be educated, you have to be trained in any specialized field where you opt for that particular profession. If you wanted to become an engineer, you have to get specialized, educated, trained in that particular streamline of engineering. For employment, minimum qualification is essential. Okay, as per the requirement of the employer, there is a specified minimum qualification which is warranted for a person to be employed into any employment or job. The fourth point of difference is the basic motive. What is the basic motive of a businessman? To earn more profit. Okay, and satisfy the need, and not only to earn more profit, his aim is to see that he produces the goods that satisfy the consumer. So that is also one of the main motto of the consumer of the businessman. Next is profession. Rendering service is a main objective of a professional. For a doctor, we say doctor service. Nurse, service, teaching, service. So, what is the underlying objective or motive? Service, rendering service is the underlying motive. Under employment, earning wages or salary by serving the employer. See, for example, a building contractor. Okay, under a the building contractor who is an engineer, he is a professional. People who are working under him are employees. Okay, so a mason or an assistant who works in the building construction, is there any service motto for him to work under that engineer? Definitely no. For what is he working? He is working for the wages that he will be paid by the employer. So the basic motive of employment is what? Earning wages or salary by serving whatever or by doing whatever his employer says. Fifth point, capital investment. Capital investment as per the size of the firm is needed. If the firm is a small size unit, less capital is required. If the firm is a large size unit, more amount of capital investment is required for business. With respect to profession, it requires limited capital for establishing a person into that profession. To get qualified for that profession and for training and for establishing himself or herself as a professional person, limited capital is needed. For employment, there is no capital required. It is only your skill, your time and your effort. Okay, your physical manual labor, that is only the investment. No capital is required for a person to work under any other person. Reward. What is a reward for a businessman? Profit is a reward. For a profession, professional fee is the reward. For an employment, salary or wages is a reward that is being paid for the worker. Risk. Where is more risk, in business, profession or employment? Absolutely, business only has got more risk. So profits are uncertain and many times you do not get a same amount of profit year after year. So it is irregular. Whereas for profession, fee is regular and certain, never negative. So for a professional person, if he works, he will get the fee for whatever work he is doing. And for employment, when he enters into a job, he is being fixed a salary, a regular pay. So there is no risk of loss at all for employment. Next is transfer of interest. Transfer possible transfer possible with some formalities. If you are unable to run your business, you can just give your ownership business to some other person. That is possible. If you are not able to continue as a partner in a firm, you can come out of that partnership and there can be addition of some other person into the partnership firm. Next is profession. Transfer is not at all possible. Just because your dad is a doctor, okay, once after his tenure of that profession, or when he feels that he has to retire from his profession, can he transfer his professional skill to you, where you are not a qualified doctor? That is absolutely not possible. Transferring of the professional skill is not possible. Likewise, job also, employment transferable is not there. Next is code of ethics. No specific code of ethics, moral and ethical dealings only. So when we talk of business, there is no specific code that a petty shop should be run in this manner only. A departmental store should be done in this manner only. It is a decision of the owner or owners to frame their own code of conduct. But moral and ethical dealings are there. They should not do any immoral activities or should not involve into any unethical practices. Next is for profession. Definitely for a professional person, code of ethics is designed and given by the law. Next is for employment. For employment also, the code of conduct is prescribed by whom? By the employer or the organization which has employed the person. Code of ethics means the rules and regulations that an employer has to follow during his tenure in that particular organization. So, these are the difference between business, profession and employment. Now, I think the time is just 21 minutes. Let me go to the next topic also. What are the objectives of business? Why should business be done? Okay, what is the main objective? So, since I am not directly, I am unable to talk to you directly. If it is a classroom session, definitely the understanding of this topic would have taken a different angle rather. We would be able to discuss how many of us are into employment, how many of us are professionally employed people, or how many of them are into business. We will be able to discuss in person, but right now it is not possible. So, what is the main objective or goal of a business? The main objective is economic objective. Whenever I say economic, it means something measured in terms of money only. Why is a businessman doing business? Only with the objective or goal or target of earning profit. All the other objectives, okay, that is creating a good customer contact or bringing in new innovations, all those are secondary. Everything is done only with a view to earn what? Or money only with a view to earn good amount of profit. Why is a businessman bringing in innovation into his product? Only when new things are brought into the product, people will be attracted and people will buy more of that particular product. As a result, what will happen? His sales will increase and his profit will increase. So, the ultimate objective or the main objective of business is what? Earning profit. That is economic objective. Next is social objective. What is the social objective of business? That is to see that to achieve whatever is the benefit for the society. Okay, see, the business people do business or produce commodity which is needed for the society only. Okay, whatever the society wants or whatever is for the benefit of the society only, the goods and services are being produced. Since business operates in the society by utilizing all the scarce resources, the society is expecting that he has to give something in return to the society for its welfare. So, he should not produce any unethical or illegal commodities. Okay, any production of illegal commodities are not taken as business activities. Okay, and not do anything which is immoral. So, no activity of business should aim at giving any kind of trouble to the society. If any business is causing any trouble to the society, that business license will be cancelled by the government. Next is organizational objective. As a business organization, what is the objective of the organization? If you are the CEO of a company, what will be your main aim? You have to take the company to the next level. You have to use all modern technology to produce more units of commodity, and you should see that you supply all only quality goods to your consumers. That could be the objective, and apart from that, customer satisfaction should be your main objective. So the organizational objective, when you see whatever I told, all those comes under the organizational objectives of the of business. Next is human objective. Human objective means anything which creates welfare or well-being of individuals in the individuals who are associated with the business. That you call it as human objective. That is, the employee should have job satisfaction. The working place of the employee should be good. That is also an objective, human objective. And social and psychological objective. That is, I told you, satisfaction of the employees. And not only that, the society also should be benefited by the business. For example, the organization can give work to the handicapped people, and thereby what are they doing? They are contributing something to the welfare of the society also, or the psychological needs of the people also, and for the development of human resources. Apart from that, they are providing what? Employment facility. They are creating human resources to the society, and sometimes they might employ people who do not have proper education, but they need a job. So as an employer, what is your contribution to the society? Okay, so by doing all this you call it as human objectives. Next is national objective. What are you doing to the country as such? By being a businessman or doing this business activity, what is my objective to satisfy our country? By giving employment opportunity to more number of people, what am I doing? As a businessman, what am I doing? I am creating so much of employment opportunities, thereby reducing the unemployment problem in the country. Okay, next is, so many of the individuals are getting the opportunity of earning an income because of the employment created by you. Next is, by generating income, by producing goods and services and distributing that to the consumers and earning profit, what is ultimately added? The earnings of our national income is getting high. Okay, so we are adding more toward the government exchequer. We are adding more revenue to our treasury only. Our national income increases, our GDP increases, the tax amount increases. So we are contributing to the country also, and we are becoming what? Self-sufficient in our production of goods and services. See, by producing goods and services, what are we doing? We are producing whatever is needed for us. We are not dependent on the other countries. So business activity should be conducted keeping in mind what? The goal of the country in mind should be, the goal of the country also should be kept in mind. And this we call it as national objectives of the business. So with this, we are finishing the objectives of business. What are the objectives of business? Economic objective, which means earning profit. Social objective, that is your commitment towards a society for giving quality goods and to meet the expectation of the people, not to produce goods which are hampering the welfare of the people. Organizational objective, that is to expand your company, to take your company to the next level, to modernize your company, to bring quality goods to the consumers and to see that consumers are satisfied. Next is human objectives, to satisfy the social, psychological values of the people. That is to bring employee satisfaction, to develop the human resources by giving employment opportunities to the needy people. Next is the last one is national objective. What is your contribution to the country? By doing business, because of the business activity, you are creating employment opportunities. You are adding revenue to the government. Then you are producing goods and services, making our country a self-sufficient country. Not only that, by doing business on ethical basis, you are promoting social justice also. So with this, we are finishing the second chapter, children. Okay, third chapter we shall look in the next class. Okay, and regarding homework, I want you to write the comparison between business, profession and employment. That will be your homework for the day. That is question number long answer 2. Second long answer. Compare business with profession and employment. That is your homework for the day. Thank you, children. Have a good day. Bye-bye.